Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning. We continue our coverage now as the search continues in western North Carolina as that death toll from Helene rises. We keep hearing people say the devastation is beyond belief, and despite all the incoming help, it's still, as we know, going to take weeks, months, even years for those communities to recover. The storm now being blamed for at least 133 deaths, 49 of those here in North Carolina, and that number is expected to go up, with as many as 600 people still missing as of this morning. Some areas remain so isolated, the only way in and out is by air. Others are strangled by long gas lines, shelters at capacity, and limited food and water.
President Biden expected to visit the area tomorrow. He'll attend a briefing at the State Emergency Operations Center before taking an aerial tour of Asheville. The president has promised his visit will not disrupt ongoing recovery efforts. He also says he plans to visit Georgia and Florida as soon as possible. Well, one man is being called a hero this morning after he risked his own life to save a woman from the floodwaters in Ashe County. Video shows the moments those raging waters carried away a home and the woman inside it. And that's when Eddie Hunnell, who happened to be in town for his son's wedding, jumped into action. With just a life vest and a rope, he got into the water and pulled the woman to safety.
I grew up swimming on a swim team. I was a lifeguard. I'm in okay shape, and I just couldn't watch her die. I felt like I needed to do that. It didn't really hit me until I laid down in bed that night and about had a panic attack. But I didn't see another option.
Even though the woman and her husband lost everything in this storm, Hunnell says he wanted to do something nice. So take a look at this photo. He invited them as special guests to his son's rehearsal dinner. Oh. I love that. It's just neighbors helping neighbors, right? Take a look at this in Watauga County. Cleanup efforts are just beginning. The floodwaters have mostly cleared, but the devastation remains. People in the small community of Meek Camp have been cleaning out what areas they can reach. The storm flooded homes and washed away roads and bridges. Now folks there are working to clear enough of the road for emergency and utility crews to get through.
I mean, it's heartbreaking. I mean, it really is. Like, I've been on the edge of just wanting to kind of curl around and cry a little bit because, I mean, it's a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot of people that's been affected by this. Just keep us in our prayers. Just keep praying, and I think we'll get through it then.
People there say it's been a tough few days, but they're getting through it together.
And as those floodwaters recede, we're getting a better look this morning at the widespread damage. We've got some video. This is out of Canton, just west of Asheville. You can see all those roads and yards covered in mud, water, debris. The mayor there calls it apocalyptic. And now some video out of the Bat Cave and Mill Spring communities where you can see the destruction left behind there. This is the Broad River. Floodwaters destroyed homes along the riverbank, as you can see here, took out roads, collapsed bridges in some cases. Crews have been airlifted emergency water and food into that community because there's simply no other way in and out.
Well, Asheville and surrounding Buncombe County are among the state's hardest hit areas. Take a look at this video of Asheville's iconic River Arts District. Most of those buildings along the river destroyed. The surrounding area is so packed with mud and leftover floodwater that crews can't even get in to begin the cleanup. This is video of the long lines outside Asheville area grocery stores. Government officials and aid groups are working to deliver supplies by air, trucks, and even mules. Many main roads leading into the city have been washed away or remain blocked. And the city's water system is so severely damaged that people have to scoop water out of creeks just so they can flush their toilets.
And we're also hearing the harrowing stories of survival from students at App State. They barely made it out as floodwaters overwhelmed their campus.
WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden spoke with one student who only got out thanks to some strangers who came to her rescue.
The video is quick but terrifying.
Okay, just go. Keep going.
My car's not going.
Okay, then we need to get out.
We're like, oh no, we need to get this door open.
4 App State roommates trapped in a car, the water rising around them.
The car was filling in with this murky brown water, so I had no way to, reach into my dashboard or my glove compartment and grab my window breaker. I couldn't see anything. Nobody could see anything.
It was Friday mid-afternoon when there was so much rain so fast, App State sophomore Avery Panner realized she needed to get her car to higher ground. Her roommates all went with her.
A tree fell down like right on top of my car, and we couldn't get back that way. So we were forced to move forward. And my car starts sinking into the mud underneath. At this point, the water level is to the top of the door, right before you would open the windows. My windows weren't going down, so it's not like we could just, come out through the windows.
The water started coming into the car and fast.
So it takes all of us to push one of the front doors open, push through the mud that my car is sinking into. And we all just climb out through this door.
But the worst was still to come.
And I just remember the rip current coming from the water. It was like whitewater rapids. It's something you would never imagine. And it sweeps me from underneath my feet.
Thankfully, a group of guys, students, strangers came running to help.
Everyone is grabbing onto my leg so I don't, go down into the creek, or, go off into the current. They are trying to hold on to their dear life for me, but I am sweeping off into the water.
They managed to hang on and all get through the water to higher ground to safety.
But I firmly believe that something very terrible could have happened to me if it wasn't for these random people coming to save us. And it was just completely unreal. It was life-changing. It's something I won't forget.
So far, App State has only said that classes are canceled this week. Just as soon as we get more information on that, we will pass it along. Reporting in Charlotte, Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.
Terrifying. I can't imagine being a parent watching your child and you can't even get there to them.
I know.
So many stories. One of those stories happened last Friday. A good friend of mine who used to work here, Bob Van Dillen, who works for another network, literally on the air live, doing a live shot, saved a woman who was in a car going into water behind him.
Wow.
Walked, said, I've got to help her. Went in, saved her life, pulled her out.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Heroes.
Way to go, Bob Dylan.
Heroes for sure.
I used to work here many years ago.
And the worst thing is this is going to be years of recovery for a lot of these people.
It's almost insurmountable. You look at that and it just, your heart hurts. I mean, your whole body hurts. These people. I'm going to make a comment about our country and our government. And it may be, off, not good taste, but I think we are never prepared in the United States of America for emergencies like this, natural disasters. The horror of Katrina was a good example. And this is another. I think there should be an agency or the National Guard should go into action immediately if there's a disaster like this. There are situations it's been too long to wait. Too many people are trapped. And it's a federal responsibility. I don't know what the agency is responsible, but I think we never respond fast enough. We don't get the supplies there. We don't get the aid there. We don't get the National Guard, to me, that is their responsibility, should be, because they're prepared to do that. They just need to be told to do it.
And this is the worst case scenario for this, is because like Katrina, at least you can go by boat to get people like on the shoreline, stuff like that. This literally trapped in so many different directions, like just doing traffic. We don't even really know how many roads are closed because some people aren't even able to get back to us.
And there's no communication.
Yeah, and a lot of these roads and interstates, like you saw on I-40, the integrity now of the land is completely changed. So it's not just about, rebuild the road. No, they got to completely think different things. It's like you, Larry, like watching some of that, you're almost on the brink of tears just seeing it, because
horrible. I mean, it's so sad, because it's almost all of us, each one of us. Actually, I'm the family that lives there, but we've all been there. We know these places. And you look at what happened in Asheville. Because remember how people, I love Asheville because of. Well, the because of is no longer there. I don't know how they're going to clean this up. What happens to all the debris? Where does all that go? That's another monumental task that the government, the state government, federal government is responsible for, rebuilding the roads, restoring lives.
I think you make a good point, and I think hopefully there'll be an assessment of what the response was and when it happened, because I share your frustration, but I also know some of it may be perception versus reality. You go on social media, you see a lot of people critiquing us, critiquing the media, saying they haven't covered it. Well, as you guys well know, we talked about it every day last week going into it, and every day of the weekend, and yesterday and today, it's been nonstop. So I do think there's a perception problem that is not accurate. But there's certainly room for criticism in the response of at multiple levels of government. I just don't know if I'm yet comfortable saying what is the reality of it yet.
And who is responsible?
Yeah, totally.
I think it's something there should be some collaboration between the states and governors, whatever. What should we do if this happens again? I think the worst was Katrina's response. Oh my God, it was a horrible situation down there. And and people are saying this is Asheville's Katrina. It's interesting. You go down to Spartanburg, where I was over the past weekend. That's their Hugo, and it gets worse the farther west you go. Such a disaster.
We're getting some comments. Joy Mott talking about the man in the story that we did, that he's a hero, the one that saved the woman. Melissa Banks saying this is all just so unimaginable. My heart goes out to all that were in the path of the hurricane. Joy chiming in again saying, you're right, Larry. We are never prepared for something like this.
And that word, unimaginable, I think that's also one of the biggest problems here, too, is because it was on Wednesday that you were already seeing rolling, rapid rivers rising, and that wasn't even the main event. And then I think it's a lot of times as you can say, hey, you're going to see anywhere from even up to 18 inches of rain. It's going to be 3 days. This could be greater than the flood of 1916, which, by the way, I saw the memorials for the flood of 1916, those signs washed away by these waters. But it isn't until really it's actually happening. It was like, oh, wow, it really was that bad, which is a problem as well.
All right, folks. Chime in. Let us know what you think. By the way, if you'd like to help out, we've got all those resources and all the information on our website, WCNC.com.
I bet our digital team can put a link in the comments as well to how you can help.
And we'll see you back here tomorrow.